day a star is born, but not everybody seems to see the light. So many thoughts when I sleep at night, but I feel blessed when I wake up, and wake up. I wake up, and wake up. I hear every day a star is born, but not everybody seems to see the light. So many thoughts when I sleep at night, but I feel blessed when I wake up, and wake up. When I wake up, wake up. To my surprise, it took a chance and won. Mission still in progress, I ain't done. We laugh and cry, etc. under the sun. The more you run, the less you get done. The more that's done, well, you know the rest. More goals to mark off your checklist. I keep my goals high but stiff arm and stress. Yes, I hear every day a star is born, but not everybody seems to see the light. So many thoughts when I sleep at night, but I feel blessed when I wake up, and wake up. When I wake up, and wake up. Yeah.
This is another edition of the Creators Life Podcast, Harness Your Gift. I'm here on location. I'm in Fort Washington, Maryland. I got a very special guest. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Tanisha Whitaker. How you guys doing?
Nice to have you. So Tanisha, she hosts an open mic once a month. She also has a boutique here. Just a lot of different things she has going on we're going to get into. So first I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to do this. You know, she's somebody that she really helping out the community. I've been to an open mic that Tyra Harper at Tyrita, that's Tyyrita, and then also DJ by As Told by Monty. I also have the information at the end of this video here. But they've been doing something once a month for like maybe I want to say what they started maybe 2 months ago.
About 4 months.
4 months.
Yeah.
Well, I'm about 4 months behind. but it's been really exciting being here because you're around so many different people who. They may be veterans, they may be people who have kids, and you're just linking with different people and networking with people. So, like I said, thank you again for being on my platform.
Thank you.
No problem. So, to get into things, where are you from?
I'm actually from the DMV area, so I was born in Washington, D.C., but I've always lived in Maryland.
Okay.
So I'm a local.
She a local. That's good. So, how's your year been so far, just in general?
Just in general, up and down, being in our new space here in Fort Washington has been interesting. Moving from the truck to a brick and mortar has been a bit challenging, but overall still good, still positive.
That's good. And that's a great thing to be aware of. Like when you are transitioning from as she said, the truck, and then you got a brick and mortar. There's more that comes into it, but if you want more, it comes with more responsibility. And I'm glad she's going to be able to give you a lot of information on that, because there's so many people out here who want to be entrepreneurs, but sometimes they have a hard understanding of what do I start, or once I get to this stage, what do I do now? So she's going to give you some advice today for sure. So with that being said, like growing up in this area, what does this area really mean to you? From when you was younger, and then as you got older.
This area is full of potential, hard work, and just areas of growth. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. Both my parents were entrepreneurs. Several of my aunts and uncles are entrepreneurs. So it's there if you're willing to put in the work and the effort. And trust me, baby, I don't care what form you're in, it's not easy. You're going to have something that you struggle with.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of her family shows up to most of the open mics. They're here having a good time. They're usually around in this area where we're sitting at right now. So they have a good time. They cheer people on. And, it's just exciting to see, no matter what community you come from, seeing people come together for the right reasons. There's so many things that can just bring us down. The weather can bring us down, coincide with everything else that's going on politically and stuff like that. So, like I said, it's an honor having somebody here who's opening her space to people throughout the community. So, and that's really true community building. Now, with that being said, since you are from the DMV area, what is a meal you would recommend to people who are maybe traveling through?
So you have to get the chicken wings and mumbo sauce. I'm sorry, mumbo sauce is a DC thing. There's lots of places you can go and get mumbo sauce, but it's not the same. And a lot of people like to go to Ben's Chili Bowl and get the chili dog. I've had it. It's it's not for me. I'm not discounting it. It's just not for me, but it's great. A lot of people love it. But those are two things that I would say are staples of DC. Fine dining. I can't really say on fine dining that's local to DC, but there's a lot of great local restaurants that I won't say that are per se fine dining, but there are great options. There are a lot of local options, but TikTok is your friend, is what I'm going to say. How about that?
And if you ain't hear nothing else, she said, just remember mumbo sauce in DC. If you get mumbo sauce out of Virginia, you did yourself a dishonor.
Yes, you did. Definitely.
You did yourself a dishonor. So, you know, you with your family, how supportive was your family, you know, as you were growing up?
My family's always been uber supportive of every and anything I've done. I can say, my mother shielded me for as long as she could from being an entrepreneur because she knows of the ups and downs. But I will say, I know that's not your question, but going back to what I just said about shielding me from being an entrepreneur, if it's in your heart, don't wait. Don't be like me and make all these big kid bills and then want to be an entrepreneur because it makes the bill that much harder. It's easy to start out when you don't have any bills. Like, I started out with a full mortgage, car note, kids, all that good kind of stuff. So it was a lot harder to build up and leave my full time. I still currently work full time, but to make that transition where you don't need that check that's binding you to a desk or whatever the case may be, it's a lot harder once you get those bills. And trust me, if you can do it early on, it's a lot easier to bounce and laugh and do and pivot. But once you have a family and, you know, real big bills, it's not as easy to pivot.
And as you can see, you know, even with everything that she says she has on her plate, she's still willing to, you know, come here every day, put on her best face. And then she's still working too. So for anybody out there that feel like I got kids or I can work in the job or whatever the situation may be, you can still do it. Because no matter what you may say, you're going to make time for something. You're going to make time to download a new game on your phone. You're going to make time to scroll. Facebook, TikTok, y'all know the rest. So, you know, at the end of the day, you got to be honest with yourself. If you want something, you know, if you want something on a large scale, you have to be able to give more of yourself to. And having the right people around you makes a big difference. So it's good that, you know, eventually you took the reins on your own life and said, this is something I want to do. And even though she might have, you know, walked in the mud a lot of times, she got herself up and she kept pushing. And that's what a lot of us have to understand, you know what I mean? So, you know, were there any, you know, pushbacks, just, you know, trying to build your you know, get your business started up and stuff like that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. For sure. So I'm a federal contractor. So for being a contractor, if the contract ends early or whatever, if the government decides today they don't want you there tomorrow, you're laid off. So I've been laid off twice. I will say, thankfully, I was already in business, so business kept my household eating and, you know, flourishing and this, that, and the other. But I also saw in those times where I wasn't working that things were actually growing in the business. But again, being a responsible adult with all these responsibilities, you got to pick or choose. You gonna keep feeding your house, or you gonna feed your business? I mean, business is growing, but not growing fast enough to keep everything in my responsibility wheel going. And so, I mean, I would say would be the biggest drawback. Every opportunity, I'm not gonna say every, but some opportunities that I had to make that leap, I had other responsibilities that I had to put first.
Yeah. You got to prioritize, you know, if you do have a family, and then even before you end up having a family, you got those things you got to think about. Mm-hmm. You know, if you end up having kids and getting married, that's a blessing. Don't ever, you know what I mean, feel like I don't want none of that because I want to have a business. Some people, they pick and choose, you know, hey, I don't want to have a family. I want to be able to travel, you know, those different luxuries. That's fine. But you can still have a family and have a business. You know, she's a prime example of this, you know what I mean? And working a federal job too as a contractor. So at any moment in time, when they throw them deuces up, you know which way you got to go, out the door. So at the end of the day, you know, like people that may be close to you or people that you even see on social media and they're telling you their story, you know, understand like they're coming from a certain position that you can also be able to work from as well. It's not going to be just easy. Sometimes, you know, you may be able to walk straight through a door. You know, God he give you favor, but also too, he wants to see what you do. And for those that don't believe, that's perfectly fine. But no matter what it is that you do, you have to be willing to put the time in. Don't let your pride get in the way because somebody's giving you maybe new information you really don't want to hear because you want to do it your way. Sometimes you get in your own way trying to just do it your way. You know what I mean? So you just got to be honest with yourself and enjoy the journey. A lot of us is like, man, I want to get to the finish line, but appreciate what it took to get to that finish line. You know what I mean? Because once you get to that finish line, there may be something else you want to do. You know what I mean?
There's always going to be a new finish line.
So is there like I would say a daily motto you live by, or maybe a quote somebody gave you?
So I'm not going to say it's my daily motto, but I definitely believe, I'm a firm believer that is what's meant for me is for me and no one can take it from me. A lot of times when I'm in the truck or I would say when I'm in the truck and I'm doing a pop-up, you hear a lot of other small business owners saying, oh, because she sells that, I'm not going to make any money, this, that, and other. But people, regardless of how much they have in their pocket, don't have in their pocket, they're going to shop with who they want to shop with. They're going to spend money and support who they want to support. Because supporting isn't always spending money. Supporting is sharing the word, whatever. It can be a lot of different things. But just because I have A and you have A doesn't mean that my A is going to sell more than your A or vice versa. When you build connections with people and you build those friendships, you build those bonds, you might not remember their name, but you can remember who they are. Hey, girl, whatever the case may be. That makes a difference in your business. And how you talk to people and how you treat people makes a big difference in business. Even if my A is subpar, but I have better customer service, they're going to come to me. And vice versa.
Yeah. You gotta have quality, and you gotta know how to, represent yourself. I see a lot of people sometimes, like she mentioned, you go out to a place and they may feel like, I want to do this, or they may look at you a certain way or whatever. Like, if you got something people want, people are gonna gravitate to it. If you look like you're a business, people will want to do business with you. A lot of times we see people who, I'm me, so you need to come support me because I'm me. Who are you? You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't ever get too high on your horse until you realize, like, yeah, that horse is about to sit down and now you got to walk yourself. So, at the end of the day, you just you got to appreciate the journey. You got to respect yourself. You got to take time to, make sure you're critiquing yourself and other constructive criticism people that are giving you, check it out. Okay, they saying I'm very loud, or they saying that my products maybe don't last, that they probably don't last long, whatever the case may be. You gotta just be honest with yourself. Okay, let me go back into the lab and do what I need to do and stuff like that. Versus you getting mad at the world because these same people you mad at are potential clients. You know what I mean? Or customers that you want them to come back again. You want them to put the word out to tell a friend to tell a friend. So it's good that you understand that. Where would you say was, as far as, have you put on events or anything of that nature?
So actual events that I've headlined are mostly, well, I can't say headline because Tyra is the host, but the open mics that we have here, we have had a pop-up shop here. I am planning to start doing more pop-up shops in the hall area we have right here. But before we got in this space, I was more with the truck going to pop-ups and festivals and, beer wine festivals are your friend. I'll just tell you that if you want to drop a key, there's a key. That's a gem right there. Beer and wine festivals are a great place to go and meet new people and get good shoppers.
Yeah, you got to be willing to get. I'm glad you mentioned that. You got to be willing to travel. Let's be honest. If you're gonna spend thousands on a ticket to go see a particular artist, I ain't gonna say the artist's name, but everybody know. Everybody know. If you're gonna do that, or anything else, if you put money into travel and stuff like that, and then you say, I want to start my business, but you don't went on 5 trips and you haven't even invested in yourself, where do you think that's going? And especially if you do have kids, you're going to always put your family first and stuff like that. That's understandable. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, you got to understand it comes with, some sacrifices that must be made. But it's for a great cause, because if you can do it at your level, don't start at a particular level and then try to maintain just for other people's validation. Hey, I'm gonna start here small and work your way up. Because a lot of people, they burn out so fast, and people are like, hey, what happened? I thought you had your business last year. Oh yeah, the business ended last year. You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about: networking and fellowship with people that got certain things going on like you do. Because if you networking with people who, they're still kind of low key, you can kind of feel they may be hating on you or some type of envious. Every time you say, hey, I'm doing this for my business. Oh, you still doing that for your business? You still got that going on? Like, be careful of those type of people, because they will, drain your energy, and you don't need that. You want your energy replenished. So that's why you come to certain events, like she said, the beer and wine, or wherever the festivals may be at. If you're depending on what you got going on, and you meet people, you learn how to talk to people. And another thing I would say is, even if you're of a particular community and you're like, oh, I only want to deal with my community, that's perfectly fine. But just understand that money comes from all communities. So don't isolate yourself because you want to just stick with one group. You know what I mean? If that's what your niche is, that's cool. But sometimes if you maybe not really get anything out of that, kind of want to broaden your horizon. So definitely.
I would definitely add that it doesn't have to be a wine festival or anything. I've made more money at some events that I paid $20 to be there. I paid upwards of $600 plus to be at an event. So it kind of just depends on what you're selling, what your audience is, and you have to ask that event coordinator what their expected attendance is going to look like what's their age group and what's their demographic, that kind of thing. If they can even give you that, or look at the demographic of the area in general to give you the kind of an idea of what the market's going to look. Because if you have a wide range of products, you can scale what you're offering that day to that audience, or adjust, to make sure that you make whatever your dollar amount you would like to make hit your goals. Because no one likes to go somewhere and spend money not to make money. No offense. Like, it's not all about making the money. The connections a lot of times will outweigh making the money. So, but if you don't make any money and don't make any connections, it was a dead day. I can go somewhere and not make any money, but if I make some good, solid connections, I'm happy.
Exactly, because those connections might turn into opportunities. There's been a lot of times where, whether I was traveling in Charlotte, throughout the DMV area, even back home in Georgia where I'm from, shout out to one of Robin's Sports in here. Even just traveling through, you might meet somebody, hey, I don't need this, but I got a friend who does. So, and it's just amazing to see how the hard work you put in, people will appreciate that. So many times we just give up on ourselves because we're not seeing nothing, you know what I mean? Even for example, right, you're growing your hair, you're like, man, my hair ain't growing, man, I'm about to cut it all off. You got to understand your hair grows in stages. Sometimes it's in a sleep stage. Sometimes it just ain't growing. You got to be honest with you. But then other times it's steadily growing. And next thing you know, if you're taking care of it, if monitoring certain things, and you're making sure you doing what needs to be done, then you're going to start to see something positive come out of it. Even if it's just a small gain or whatever. A small gain is better than taking huge losses. So, I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. Now, the truck. The truck.
Tanking is what I call it.
So, how did you feel when you first purchased that truck? Like, just take us through that.
Okay, so I actually was unemployed at the time. And we Jimmy rigged the situation where we were able to buy my husband a new truck and use the extra to buy the truck. So I was ecstatic. I bought it from a clothing boutique. It needed some work.
Around clothing boutique.
Yeah. They sold LuLaRoe. They basically just put some racks up in the back of the truck. So for me, it wasn't there, but had my electrician come and run my electrical. Mm-hmm. I insulated the walls, put up new walls, painted, put my shelf in it. It felt great. I am a Tom girl, and I say a Tom girl because I can be girly, but give me a power tool and I'm your best friend. I love to get my hands dirty. Like, I like to do those type of things myself. So when I say I did the build out, I did most of the build out of the truck outside of the electrical myself. The build out here, outside of the paint and the floors, I did myself.
Now ain't that something? She all in one. Wife, got the boutique. She can help you out, administrate you if you go into Home Depot or something like that. No, you don't need that tool for that. You got to go to aisle 8. You know what I mean? So you just never know when you meet people what they're capable of. You know what I mean? So, and that's something you got to understand. If you're an entrepreneur, even you just an individual that, you want to get to meet more people and stuff like that, they don't know what you're capable of and vice versa. You might be somebody that you may say a word to them or have a conversation with it like, you know what, thank you so much, I needed that, because it seems like the people I'm around, they're not really feeding me. Mm-hmm. A lot of times people on the surface, they look a certain way, they move a certain way, but in here they're not fed. That's why people walk around and they're trying to figure out like, who am I? You know what I mean? So it's just good to, if you're going through stages, whatever case may be, don't ever feel afraid to reach out to anybody. You know what I mean? Because you just never know. If it's not family, if it's not friends, it could just be a random person. Even if somebody on the streets or whatever can give you some advice like, hey, I wouldn't go down that way. You know what I'm saying? I know, I just got a bag and a maybe a hot dog in my hand right now, but I wouldn't go down there. You're like, no, I'm not gonna go down there. And you just bypassed the accident. So you just never know where potential resources or wisdom's going to come from. So, and her truck, I would say, outside of her actual logo, like, I feel like that's her logo too, because she said she got it when she was unemployed, right? Just imagine all the famous people from, Tyler Perry, living out of his car, and now he's a billionaire, black billionaire, but I mean, he's black. But, it's just amazing to see that people can come from the lowest of lows and they can reach the top and steadily want more. So you want to be around those type of people because it just makes for way better energy, for yourself. And that's what it's about, replenishing your energy. Now, you got the truck and everything like that. Now let's take it to this establishment here. How did you feel when you opened this up?
Overwhelmed but excited. From signing the lease to actually open, it took a longer process than expected with county and permitting and just build out. So when I say overwhelmed, up front, there's a lot of money being spent. And of course, if your doors aren't open, you're not making any money. So realistically, once we signed the lease, I opened the doors of Pinky in the parking lot. Like, look, since this guy makes some money somehow. But our grand opening was in February, and we had so much support. We had so many people coming out, shopping with us, just coming to see the space. That we were open inside and on the truck, and we had the whole lobby area out there with tables and food and all that good kind of stuff. But I really opened this place for my clients. A lot of my clients wanted someplace to come and not have to catch the truck, and also to share the opportunity with other small businesses from the community to showcase their products. Like I've said before, in this shelving area right here, this is our co-op section. So these are all other small business from the county, and I believe one from Virginia, but majority of them are from PG County, just showcasing their products and selling their products on their behalf. So also said that, teamwork makes the dream work. No one can grow by themselves. Like, a lot of us are in business by ourselves, but when we're honest, we're not growing by ourselves. Because if someone's talking to someone else, that you're not in that room and putting your name in that room, and you're nowhere to be found, and they're helping you grow and you don't even realize it. So no matter how much I want to say I'm in business by myself, which I'm not, my mother's in business with me. Any person that I've talked to or that's seen me and they're saying something to someone else, they're helping me grow just the same. Now, I can't say that every person that's seen me is saying something good, but they're saying something. Mm-hmm. So, bad publicity sometimes is a good publicity. Now, I'm not saying that I know that I have any bad publicity, but, word of mouth can make or break you in this stage. In all honesty, it's what's building most of us.
Yeah. I mean, that's good to know. I mean, like I said, some people, they're afraid to network. You got to get yourself out there. I mean, that was something I had to work on. I was like, man, I'm going to just make it all for me. That's kind of a thinking I had at a point. But then I realized, like, okay, I'm not able to get into this door, or I'm trying to figure out, different resources like that. And then you meet one person. Hey, I know this person, I know this person, and vice versa. The thing about it is, too, always pay it forward. Sometimes you may get a blessing. You're like, man, shoot, I just want to keep getting blessed. I ain't really trying to give out nothing else. And it's cool. You don't have to do nothing, that you don't want to do. But just understand when you're doing something from the heart. Now, if you're just doing it for your name to be in the lights or your name to be in the paper and all that, like, that's cool and all, but then people can pick up on it. They can pick up on your spirit. They can pick up just on your energy, how you moving. So the thing about it is, you want to give people a realistic version of who you are. If you're shrewd, if you introvert, extrovert, whatever the case may be, okay, that's how they are. So I got to handle you accordingly, because everybody is not just friendly off the bat. You got to earn people's trust. Some people they just give you their trust from the beginning. You can, whatever the case may be, but it's just like, for those who want to make sure like they're leaving a great example no matter where they're going. It's like, what, this person left a great impression on me. I may not call them right now, but in 2 weeks, once I get paid, I'm going to go to her boutique. You know what I mean? Yeah. So as you can see, the lights are still on here. They're very vibrant, very bright, and they shine even brighter when you have so many people in here, whether it's open mic, they're here shopping, so many different things she has going on. And that does lead me to ask you, what events do you have going on here? I seen something about the sip and paint. Is there anything else you got going on?
So we have an open mic night tomorrow, and then we have sip and craft on Saturday. This Saturday we're doing handbag edition, so it's a revamp. So you can come in with your own bag from home already. You can take one of ours, and we have patches, and we have paint, and we have glitter, and we have stencils. Like, you can just give it a whole new look, because everybody wants different. And different can be something that's out of your closet, just added to. Where we are a community of people who buy and buy and buy and buy. And realistically, with the way the economy's going, sometimes, you can revamp, you can reverbiage what you have. Like, we're actually about to start doing some revamps on shoes. So stay tuned to that. I actually have someone reach out to me about that, but it's just a revamp on the bag. But we do waist beads, a waist bead class. We do a paint and sip. We do a lot of different customization classes. We'll actually have a wreath class come the fall, getting ready for the Christmas season. It doesn't have to be a Christmas wreath, but we do it around the Christmas season because that's when a lot of people like their door wreaths for. But we also have a party favor making class. So we sell party favors, but we also teach you how to make them. Sharing is caring is my philosophy. I will not block someone else's blessing, but at the same token, I like to get blessed in the process, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, she's giving out a lot of great advice, at the end of the day. And like I said, it's an honor being here with her. This is her establishment. A lot of people, they grow up, they only know about, just renting, never really having real ownership of the things that they want to do. And it's an honor, what I'm saying? Somebody that is from my community, but they can be an example to so many other people. You just never know how somebody could just be walking past that, maybe wouldn't even look in here, but just because of the way she presents herself or the way she talks, like, hey, stop by, check it out. If it's not for you, maybe for a friend. And then they say, they build a conversation. And then they say, I'm going to bring some people from my church group in here. I'm going to bring some friends in here. We want to have like a little fun night. So you just never know. She's opening her doors to create opportunities for other people to create opportunities. So I feel like that's a major blessing. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience before we leave?
So I would like to share our address is 9215 Oxon Hill Road. That's in Fort Washington, Maryland. We are currently open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Any other days by appointment, but Thursday and Friday we're open 10 to 6, and Thursday and Friday we're open 11 to 6, and Saturday 10 to 4. We are a clothing and accessories line. We have books from Black authors from the community, handmade bracelets, candles. We also do party rentals, and then we do all things interior, both commercial and residential. And this establishment, as he stated, is owned by myself. The interior decorating is totally my mother. I am just the face of that company. My mother is the brains, and she's been in business for 40 years. So, yeah.
I always tell Mama Genius, because if you see the decor in here, you'll say, yeah, Mama got style. Yeah, Mama got style. So it's very nice in here. It's just warm and welcoming. And that's what people want. What I'm saying? They want a warm, welcoming environment where they can go to and they can feel like, what? I will bring my kids here. I will bring my family here. I'll bring everybody here. At the end of the day. So, like I said, again, I want to thank you so much. Can you give them the address again?
Sure. Our address is 9215. That's Oxon Hill Road, Fort Washington, Maryland. We're straight down the street from MGM. If you're familiar with the area, we're straight up the street from the New Giant.
So, with that being said, once you finish spending money at the MGM, drive up just maybe about 10 minutes max. And it's a straight line. It's just a straight drive. Mm-hmm. So, after you spending your money at the MGM, come here. And then, you got to go home and get your groceries. So, go ahead and stop at the Giant. Just keep it's just a straight line. Why not do everything in a straight line? Ain't that about life? You know what I'm saying? But like I said, again, I want to thank you so much, for this opportunity here. No problem at all, man. Like I said, I've seen her in person give people so many opportunities. People come out of their comfort zone, especially with the open mic. So if you are in the area or you're stopping through, y'all come check it out. And make sure you follow. What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is C as in cat, threads, THREADSMB. That's also my email in case you want to shoot me an email at gmail.com.
Okay. Give them to her one more time because somebody probably had the volume all the way up. Whatever. You know how it is. Yeah, yep.
So my Instagram and my Facebook is C as in cat, threads, THREADS. M as in Mary, B as in boy. And you can also catch me at Gmail if you need to email me.
Thank you so much. And again, I want to thank all the audience. Thank you for the support. And this is another edition of the Creators Life Podcast on Should Give. Until next time, have a great one.
you.